15 minutes late. Shit. I think we're live.
Yeah, I just got a notification. I think we are live.
Excellent. Hey, everybody. Sorry for the wait there. I don't know if anybody can hear that, but for me, it's loud. Having some pretty bad audio interference. So if anybody can let me know in chat if you can hear that, because I can definitely fucking hear it. No doubt about it. It's weird.
Yeah, Sin says we are live. Tony says we're live.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they can hear it. Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy because I'm not hearing it
It's not
on
that
this
bad.
end. Oh, okay.
Just sounds fuzzy. Is it still sounding that way now? Yes. Obviously, I can hear it. I honestly don't know what the hell's going on here.
Yeah, it's weird.
Because it was doing the same thing last week. I don't know if it's just like a faulty connection. I honestly don't know. At times, but it's not obnoxious. Okay, let's just roll with it though. All right, so welcome to Obese Mode number 121.
Yeah, that's
So
what it says here.
yeah, it's pretty major. We're getting up there. If we would have been a person, we would have been dead 50 years ago. So
There you go.
there it is. That's how I like to look at it. How you doing, Frank?
Good, good. My team won today. I've been just chilling out, relaxing. Didn't get a whole lot accomplished, but got done the minimum.
That's what makes a good weekend, right?
That's right. Slept in
There you go.
because
There you
after the
go.
show, me and Simon were BSing for a little bit, and then I ended up I found a YouTube channel where they basically this all this guy does is you have an iPhone or you do Android.
Android.
Oh, okay. On iPhone they had this
Speak of the devil.
this app called GarageBand, and
Yeah,
all
yeah.
this guy does is just GarageBand videos, and I ended up just watching them because they were like. I was like, how the hell's he doing? It was so fast. I'm like, yeah, I'm not that good.
I use GarageBand. I used to use it a lot more for making music. Um, but yeah, I haven't used it in a long time.
Yeah, he was doing like covers of like Bohemian Rhapsody and what was this? A couple of AC/DC songs, "Sweet Child of Mine" from Guns N' Roses and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, a lot of different ones.
It's pretty amazing what you can do with it. There's no doubt about it. Like it
Yeah,
has
it
so
seemed like
much built in, and that's just stock. You buy a Mac or whatever, buy an
yes,
Apple
yes,
computer or your phone or whatever, and boom, GarageBand. Pretty amazing. Yeah.
yeah, it's cool.
My work at my work up front office computer has an Apple, so sometimes I'll go up there and it has it on there, so I'll go up there and fuck
You can go
around
up
with
there
it
and mess with it. Yeah.
on a very slow day. You know what? I'm gonna try to change my microphone to one of my USB ports in the back. One second.
Okay. So what's going on, everybody? I see we got Spork Leafy out there. What's up, Giz? James Rivera, Tony, Laura, Sin. What's up, Sin? Fix It, Danner. Thanks for the love last night. Yeah, we had a good show last night. It was fun. Hope everybody's having a great kick-ass weekend. I know Tony's happy. His Patriots, they were like us against the Jets today. They didn't have to play anybody difficult. That did see Brady throw a couple interceptions down the red zone. That might be a little concerning. Maybe his age is starting to catch up with him. Yeah, my Eagles they didn't look great, but they looked well enough. The defense was just it was like they were playing against a high school team. 10 sacks, most sacks they've had since they beat up on Troy Aikman back in like '88 or '89, whenever that game was. Oh, thanks, Sam. Yeah, I'm back. I'm glad I'm having fun with it again. I almost didn't bring it back after a couple weeks off, and then when everything started happening, all the flavor bands, I'm like, yeah, kind of need to at least get our voice out there and just keep everything rolling. And it's been fun again. I like doing a show again. Yeah, Broncos they won. That's right. They beat the Chargers. Yeah, Flacco kind of looked like the Flacco of old a little bit from what I saw in that game. And Dallas lost. So I was, it's always a good day when Dallas loses.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so hopefully that was the problem, because right now I do not hear any static. And this is not a goddamn sports show. No, there it is again. There it is again. I don't know. Maybe it's just the microphone itself. It's an old mic.
It could be.
Every time I touch it, it makes noise. So I'm just gonna try it. Not.
Yeah, I don't blame you, JFN. Let's say I got, for personal, I would say I probably have 2 years worth of nicotine in the freezer right now.
I just bought a big chunk of nicotine too.
Yeah, I got to get more VG. I still you can get it like Essentials Depot has it on Amazon, and we have Amazon Prime, so I can get it for free shipping.
VG is the one thing I'm not worried about.
No, I'm not worried about it. Just I know that I got about half a gallon left, so
Nice. I have a little like a little hippie store here, like a health food store. They sell VG by like the gallon and shit.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I'm sure if I looked around town, I could probably find somewhere, some health food place or something that probably has it. But
I would never buy it from there because it's really expensive. But
yeah, that's the
I mean,
whole thing.
in a pinch, I have bought like pints and liters of it and shit there before. So
Yeah, like I'll get it from Bull City if I'm putting an order in. If I need something, if I'm running a little low and I don't feel like putting a second order in somewhere else, because theirs is like $25 a gallon or $20 a gallon, but it's really good. I mean, it's
pretty typical. I mean, the Essentials Depot shit's about $20 a gallon, I think.
I know Nick River's pretty cheap. Nick River's like $10, I think.
I was just that's where I ordered my nicotine from.
Mm-hmm.
Normally I order it from fuck, I always blank on the name of it. It's like a vape shop, but they also sell DIY stuff. It's online.
Not Gremlin. Liquid Barn and E-Cig Express.
No, it's an older shop. Fuck, I'm blanking. My Freedom Smokes.
Oh, yeah, that's right down here outside Charlotte.
And I've really enjoyed their nicotine in the past. I thought it was pretty good, pretty good.
I've never had theirs. I get Carolina extracts from Raleigh.
Yeah.
It's pricey, but let's say I could leave it sit out, and they tell you don't even freeze it.
Wow.
Because it's pharmaceutical grade the way they do it, and they say you leave it set out. At least as long as it doesn't get 100 degrees up here or anything, and you're fine.
Yeah. I don't know why I just started. I always bought from stupid My Freedom Smokes. It is more expensive, and I don't think it's any better of nicotine.
No, it's.
And so when I was checking around to buy a bunch, I went to Nicotine River and they had pretty good prices. So
yeah, and the only problem, if I order from My Freedom Smokes, then I got to pay county tax. I got to pay state sales tax. So it's I'll just order out of state and it's cheaper.
Because they're from where you're at.
Yeah, they're from Charlotte. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Sometimes if they have some really good sales though, it's worth it because you're still going to save in the long run.
That's where I bought my minigun mod from High Desert Vapor, $20. Normally like $130 mod.
Yeah.
So they do have crazy sales every once in a while. Honestly though, I haven't even perused their shop
it's been a while.
In years.
Now, 8Vape just did a really big sale, and I almost pulled the trigger on a few things. I'm like, I don't need anything. So, but then a buddy of mine was looking to upgrade. He just came off of cigarettes about 2 months ago, and he's been using just an Orion Q. And I tried to explain to him because he's like, I'm only going to use 3 milligram nicotine. I'm like, dude, it's not going to be enough for you. You're just coming off of cigarettes, even if he was only smoking the ultra light cigarettes. I said, but you're still getting. It's still not going to be enough. Well, now he wants a box mod and he wants to, sub-ohm. He thinks that's going to help him. I'm like, as long as it helps, I don't care. So I sent him over there and he got that new Geek Vape. Well, not new. They had a Geek Vape one for $20 or something, or $30 with the tank and the Cerebus tank. I think we were talking about last night.
Yeah. There's so many good options.
Yeah.
For people who are just starting now, totally You want nicotine only, you got good devices. You want clouds, there's good devices. It's a cornucopia of vape goodness nowadays.
Yeah, as long as you're not in a state where you're being constantly threatened. But nationwide, we're being constantly threatened right now, so it's not even that.
Yeah, the things that scare me are the states that know enough to close loopholes.
Yeah,
Because most states are fucking ignorant of vaping. They literally have no idea about
yeah.
vaping.
Well, Michigan closed their loophole. Well, they didn't. They didn't. They are allowing the sale of 0 milligram
Okay,
flavored e-liquid still.
that's the whole battle right there.
So I know the one shop, uh, Moose Juice, that they sell online. Plus, they have. She had 3 shops. Now she just closed one,
Yeah.
and she's down to 2, and she's selling short pours
Yep.
and with Nick shots.
So okay, so here's something I haven't personally talked about, but it's a good point. Is that even if we do have these loopholes and we fucking are able to continue vaping,
Yeah.
it is going to drastically hurt brick and mortar businesses.
Yes,
As soon as a new smoker goes in there and you have to explain to them,
they're going to be like, "Nah, forget it."
you have to do this and add it to this, and you know, no, there's just no way. There's
Yeah,
no
they're
way.
going to be like, "I'll just go down the street, peel the cellophane, light one up, and be done."
That's it. I mean, like, just imagine, think back to when we were smoking. Um, it was it, any excuse I had to continue smoking, I would take it.
Yeah,
Bad flavor, I'll just smoke.
yeah. Well, that's like
Shitty device, I'll just smoke. You know.
that's what happened to me. My first device was an Ego pen with a Cardo on it, and it leaked. They shorted the battery out, and so I had dropped probably my cigarette, my smoking by about 2/3 for the time I used it. But then it was just like, it's not worth going through all this bullshit. And I was still dual using. I just went back to smoking. And when I first started, you know, this second time back in 2016, I was dual using for about 6 weeks just to because I didn't buy any cigarettes, but it's what I already had,
Mm-hmm.
and I get aggravated, tank would leak, or I didn't feel like I was getting good flavor. I just smoke more and just like I'll deal with it later.
It's real easy to fall back on that shit because you're right. It's cellophane, pull a tube, light it, you're done,
That's it.
man. So let's say hello to some people in chat real quick. Tony, Laura, Sin, and James Rivera. We got Spork Life, my man Gizzard Stew. JFM reviews. What's happening? What's happening? Yeah, I'm so distracted by this audio. It's fucking killing me.
Oh man.
I'll do my best. But yeah, so small shops closing. That's going to be devastating. Online sales will increase probably for people like us who are already established vapors, but
Yeah.
this hurts vaping so deeply. And I think honestly, vaping is already so damaged from the misinformation that's been put out there. It's going to be a hard uphill battle to win the hearts and minds of people back.
Yeah, it will be. Just like I saw, there was a Barstool Sports, their Twitter feed. They had a picture of. They said it was the Stanford marching band, but then if someone else said it was just a high school. They spelled out vape on the football field, and people were trashing them. And then other people, vapors were like, "Oh man, it's awesome" and everything. Then a bunch of people on there, "Oh, they're gay, they're this." "Oh, I hope they enjoy their lung disease and all that." I'm like, "Oh, Christ!" And of course, popcorn lung has to pop up in there. I'm just like,
I've been having that argument since 2013, 2012.
Mm-hmm.
It's wearing me down, man. All these arguments are starting to wear me down. I've got to be honest with you.
It's like I've never had a great buttery flavor in my lungs,
Man, fuck.
Well, then you look at the one politician from Washington that got into it with a vape shop owner. They had an argument, and it was on video after the press conference the other day.
Yeah.
And he throws diacetyl and popcorn lung out there, and the vape shop owner, his head was ready to, he was ready to snap his own head off his shoulders and just like throw it at him. He was just like, getting ready to start speaking in tongues. He was so angry. It's like they haven't, commercial e-liquid hasn't used diacetyl in, a long time, and it's just like, what the fuck?
And diacetyl was never a problem.
No,
Let's
there's more diacetyl in cigarettes than there are in the worst e-liquid.
And how many cases of legit popcorn lung for people working in popcorn factories have we had?
I think I heard one.
One. That's it.
And I heard that guy smoked 3 packs a day too.
Yeah, and he didn't take, he didn't take proper precautions working on the floor. So
that's on him.
And then this was not like he worked there for a week. He worked there for like, what was it, like his whole life, like 40 years or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember the details of it, but I remember that it was like a pretty extreme case.
Yeah.
Like it takes extreme amounts of that diacetyl getting in your system for you to suffer any kind of ill effects of it.
Yeah, it's kind of like working in a place that has asbestos for 30 years, and all of a sudden you get lung cancer, and they say, "Oh, it's from the asbestos." Well, I guess so. I was working in a fucking building that had it, fallen from the ceiling for 30 years, and
yep. So and then Rob
it's only suspected.
Yeah, it's not linked, it's only suspected. Yeah, there's just so much false information. Fix it, Danner. That's it, and I think that's really the struggle that we're facing, and that's the brilliance of this anti-vaping propaganda that they're doing right now. It's the same thing that politicians are doing right now. It doesn't matter what's true; it just matters what the media reports.
Yeah,
because you're gonna confuse enough people, so they say, "Well, I don't know. I don't know. I've heard this. So I know, even though you're telling me." Like, like I'll be talking to somebody and be like, well, you're telling me that this has worked for you, but I've also heard that there's 64 deaths in California. And come on, how convenient that all of a sudden we got all these fucking people dying.
Yeah, vaping was around for over a decade without any issues. Then all of a sudden, last 3 months, it's been all hell broke loose, and all of a sudden it's from vaping again now. Nothing's changed.
And vaping's been popular for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Grim Green opened his channel in 2009, first covering vaping content. So in order for something to garner its own YouTube channel, it has to be at a certain level of popularity. Like there was already a pre-established community there.
Yeah.
So vaping had existed before that, just on a very, very, very niche market. So and even in 2009, it was a pretty niche market. I've said this a million times. I'll say it again. You want to see some history of vaping, go back to those original Grim Green videos and watch the devices that he was using.
Oh, yeah.
And you can really see the evolution of vaping. When I remember the first time he got a glassamizer, so we would just call like the old CE4 little fucking tanks. It was like the key difference being it wasn't a cartomizer. You know what I mean? It was like a coil tank, and so it's just go back and watch, and that was 9 years ago, 10 years ago. So pretty amazing,
Oh, that's like I stumbled across an old Mike Vapes video today. It was for the Freak Show Mini.
Wow.
Because I have a whole bunch of them, and I never really watched anything about them because they didn't come with drip tips. And supplier and drip tip, and this was Mike Vapes, no hat.
Wow.
The bowl haircut, the little bit of thin hair coming down to about here.
Wow.
And he was, and at the end of the video, he talked about his giveaway for his 5,000th sub. It was like 2013.
God bless. The thing about those RDAs is I've owned like 4 of those things, and all of them didn't work. They all shorted out. There was some kind of
I heard they were sketchy. I had Chrono Vapes. He actually gave me this mod, and he gave me a whole box of them. He had I think I had like 8 or 9 of them free shipment. He's still in the tins. Yeah. I tried to use one of them, but I don't like painting coils because if you try to drip down the center, it's just gonna go everywhere.
They're basically unusable. I mean, it was kind of a cool idea. The Freak Show was kind of popular. It was a semi-popular RDA. I don't know if it was popular enough to warrant a mini version of it, but whatever.
Yeah, with Tofo, they were doing whatever they could to make money back then.
And they had released the Mutation XS Mini, which is great. I have one of those still. Use it all the time. Great RDA. Just not the Freak Show just didn't work.
No.
The original
Yeah,
Freak
Rob
Show though
Scandals, yeah.
is a good RDA for the time. So. And yes, Rob Scanlon, Alternative Facts became a thing with our government around 2017. And you know what? But it's a tactic that's been used across the world for decades, if not hundreds of years.
Soviet Union used it for 40 years,
and still uses it. I mean, the thing like with Putin, one of the things that he'll do is if he's called out for doing something shitty, what he'll do, he goes through this like series where he'll deny it, and then he'll be like, "Yeah, I did it," and then pretty soon it's gone from being something bad to like something that he's proud of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, of course I fucking gassed all those people. Like, they all deserve to be gassed. They're all, child rapists and shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's just this, it's this thing that happens with people in power that they can. The art of spinning bad into good has become a real big skill set. So.
And exactly, yes, JFM.
Yeah, that's it. They say alternative facts are okay for engines and they're good. Sketchy. So what are you vaping on there, Frank?
I got my retro vape here. This is the E-Bowl mod from Sense with a cloned 22 millimeter goon on top. In there I have this cheesy cherry cannoli that I made for one of the Mix and Vixens contests. Well, not contests, just like they do a thing. They'll put a profile up on their Facebook and come up with a recipe around it.
Like a little challenge.
Yeah, it's just a little something. And usually, they'll spotlight your recipe on the show. And I have good old fashioned, the top side with the Citadel, and in there I have the pistachio custard that I made last week.
Nice. Pistachio just goes, man.
It does. Goes. I mean, this one I think I didn't nail it the way I wanted to, but it's still good. That and I, GTS with the nano on top, and I got some white girl going in there.
Hey, look at you! I love that look of that setup. I don't know what it is.
It's the green on the green and then the black drip tip with
Looks slick, man. Looks slick.
$10 for the RDA, from at the Omer booth at the show in July. So
wow, that's killer.
And it's funny because the ones that with the different colors and they cleaned them up and everything, made them look a little nicer. They all have this stainless steel build decks. When the original ones that have just the Ultim top cap and everything on them, they look kind of shitty. But they had the gold plated. But there's no. It's a single coil. You're not worried about voltage drops. So it's fine.
And most of the time, people are using those on regulated mods.
Yeah.
Voltage drop's not going to be a huge issue for you. So
no, because you're usually your resistance on your bill is about 0.25 to 0.3 anyway.
Yep.
Some people even higher.
Yep, totally. Yeah, I got a single coil in my little Cthulhu Astra here. I think it's 0.8.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I have 40 milligram e-liquid in there, so this is I finally got to try it. It's Milkman salt, the original. It's one of my favorite commercial e-liquids of all time. And so I was really curious. A lot of times these commercial e-liquids, when they release the salt neck version, are terrible.
Yeah.
But this has a really, really good flavor saturation. It doesn't taste exactly like the original, but it's close enough, and it tastes good. Most salt nick e-liquids, what me and Panda have really kind of picked up on is that they just all end up tasting like nothing.
Yeah.
Especially out of a pod system, these just aren't built for flavor. So.
No.
And
they're built for the Nick Rush. They're built for that 25 to 50 milligram.
Yep.
And that was one of the things that I think if we have to make a concession in the industry, if they kind of go to TPD route and they limit, I think I heard one of the politicians even talking about it, limiting the nicotine to 25 milligram.
I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah. I think everybody will be. If it gets them off our back.
Dude, I was fine with 3 milligram up until this whole Salt Nick shit hit.
Yeah.
And then you know what? And I resisted it for the longest time. And I should have just continued to hold my ground and not fuck with it. But you know, like curiosity gets the best of you. And I think that Heaven Gifts sent out a pod system for me. And I tried it with regular e-liquid. Just didn't work. So I ended up getting a bottle of Salt Nick, and that shit. What do you know? Nicotine's addictive,
Yeah.
and high amounts of it are
The
too.
warning
So
labels says it's an addictive substance.
absolutely, and that's and that's okay. I own that, but I would be totally willing to drop. I would even be willing to say let's limit it to fucking 3 6 12.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 0 3 6 12. That's what most e-liquid companies produced back in the day. If they even had the 12, a lot of companies didn't even have the 12. So
No. Yeah,
it's fun.
JFM. The Nano it can be very satisfying. You know, I enjoy it. You know, you get the flavor saturation you get is top notch.
Wasp Nano is legit. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, I got a 0.27 60 watts, and it's nice.
There's a couple really nice single coil RDAs on the market. I again was a big skeptic of that. I think the recurve is amazing. Great flavor.
It's
Great
good.
flavor.
I have one. I haven't really messed with it a whole lot.
It takes the right build.
Yeah, it does.
I'll say that. At first, I was not impressed with it, but the more time I got to spend with it, it's definitely won my heart. I have it on my Squonk.
You can fit some big coils in.
You definitely can, and you need to.
And you need to, yeah.
You need to.
You're not just going to put like an 8-wrap 22 gauge round wire and expect to get good flavor because you're not.
No, and you know what? And I wouldn't even use that on a regulated Squonk. I like it on a mech Squonk with a sub-ohm build. I think it works really well. So, Mark Hansen, what's going on? Church, what's happening, brother? Yeah, another good thing. Drowsy, what's happening? Another good thing about single coils is it does conserve e-liquid.
Yeah.
Even if you're running super low at high wattages or high heats, you're still burning half the amount of e-liquid that you would with dual coils. So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, GR1. That one's supposed to be good. I never had that one.
Yeah, the
They actually
Cosmonaut V2. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, they actually have a gas mods. They came out with an RDTA. It's got like a little 2 mil tank under it, and it's squonkable.
Nice.
And it's supposed to be really decent. I mean, I've never been a big fan of RDTAs. I've never been able to get really good flavor out of them. It seems like it's like almost like a dry flavor. It's hard. Don't matter how I wick it. It seems like you just don't get enough juice to the wicks.
Man, have you ever had the Avocado 24?
No.
That's the only one. It's the only one that's any good.
Yeah.
I've tried so many of those fuckers, man, and yeah, the only one that I've ever had really good flavor from was the Avocado 24.
Yeah, I had
or
the
22.
Limitless.
They're both good. So
I had what was it, Limitless Plus or whatever it was, and that wasn't. Yeah, I had problem with shorting out all the time on me.
And it just was built so cheaply.
Yeah, it was shit.
I did a review of that, so if anybody's curious about what we're talking about, you can go dig through my shit, and there's a review of it, and that's like my main point of contention, is that it was built like the cheapest Chinese junk. It's just so poorly produced. So.
I had that one. The Pyro V2 from Vandy Vape. That one sucked.
Yeah.
And
I think there's
they have a
potential
V3
there.
now, but I don't know if it's any good. It just came out, and I won't buy it.
No, it's not gonna be good. There's a lot of potential, I think, for a RDTA. I like the idea of an RDTA that is squonkable.
Yeah.
That way you can just continue to fill the bottle and not have to fluff around with it. I do like that idea. Somebody released an a tank that was squonk. Who the hell did that? Can't remember, but there was like a little. It wasn't a huge tank. It was like a little 2 mil, 3 mil tank.
Yeah.
But it was like a full-on RTA, and it was squonk. It had a squonk bin, so you can
just like the Pyro V2 is squonkable, and it's like a 5 mil tank or something, 4 mil tank, and it's just like you're just getting. It's just too. Now you get too far away from the build deck, and you're expecting a lot out of that wick.
Yeah. That's very true. That's very true. Yeah. That's what the avocado. I never had problems wicking. It just has so much room to stuff wick into it, and that's usually how I would fuck with it. I put a lot of wicking out into there, and yeah, I can vape that thing till it's bone dry. Never a dry hit. So
Oh wow.
again, depending on your coils, I mean,
Yeah.
you got to use appropriate coils. I think that things like fused Claptons um, are in their own way a form of temperature control. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because I've burned a lot of fucking cotton and juice with just round wire builds. They get too hot in like specific small areas,
Yeah.
whereas the fused Claptons kind of spread that heat out. It gets hotter in some ways probably, but it spreads it out over more surface area. So
It makes sense. Yep.
yeah, man, there's some really good gear coming out, which is kind of sad, um, considering that the thing that we need to use them is really under fire right now.
Yeah.
But I did see, so Drowsy was talking about District 5's coming out with the new Cosmonaut V2, and they had released this, like their whole marketing was very slick. They come out with these little teaser shots. They did it with the layer cake as well, like he
Yeah.
was talking about, and it gets you really hyped for it. And then a lot of times, it just ends up being the same exact product they've released before. But good on them for their marketing because they're fucking geniuses when it comes to marketing. So
Yeah, that they are, and I have noticed that a lot of reviewers now, it seems like they've slowed down on their reviews. I don't think they're getting as much stuff shipped to them.
dude, so hardware reviewers even aren't getting as much stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm
But
saying.
yeah, but e-liquid reviewers, I mean, hell, I haven't gotten the last package I got was from the UK. It was from Dinner Lady,
Yeah.
and it was Saltnik stuff. So their last line, the candy line they released, they sent me two. They sent me that candy line. Then they sent me a menthol version of the candy line, which I can't review that because I don't like menthol.
Yeah, that's
And
that's the
then
way I would be too. It's like I have a few things that are like on ice, and it's just like yeah, on my they'll stay on my desk. They're not gonna get vaped.
a lot of things I can tell, like even if I don't like a flavor, I can tell if something's good or not because I've
Yeah.
vaped enough e-liquid. I can tell if something's good or not. But um, with menthol, it just clouds it so much that you're like, is this a good menthol? Like I don't know. Like it's
Mhm.
menthol. To me, menthol is menthol. So yeah, it kind of sucks. But this new Salt Nick line they've released, it's okay, but it's the same line, and it's just with less flavor. So
Yeah.
again, I'm just not super stoked to review it. I probably will because they sent it, and Dinner Lady is like one of those companies because they're based in the UK might continue to send me products for review. All depending on the legality of them shipping it to the states eventually, right?
Yeah.
Um, but I got a one shot from Vaping Swag, the new Gizzard Brew strawberry custard.
Oh,
Um,
okay. I
so
still have to try that one.
I made some of it up and kind of give it a little bit to steep and reviewed it and just editing it right now. Ever since I started using freaking Filmora, my
Hmm.
video production schedule is just so slowed down. So I used to use Windows Movie Maker, and it was
Yeah.
I could bust a video out in 20 minutes because there was nothing, there's no effects, there's no transitions. It's so simple. You just get into a groove. The videos are super boring though. But now using Filmora, I like it. There's a lot of stuff there, but you kind of get bogged down in just how much is there. So
Yeah, I know. I have it, and I haven't shot any reviews in a while, so I haven't even opened the program to see if it even needs to be updated. I haven't
it
used it,
it
so
does it does.
oh, I'm sure.
And we finally got, so for a while, Maria had a bunch of her business stuff like piled in front of the green screen just because
Hmm.
we had nowhere to put it. And so I bought her a new shelf, and so the green screen is back in effect now. Got it all cleared
Okay. Yep.
out. So that was another thing, is that I like to have my stuff set up ready to go. So I want to bust out a review, I can just run in here, film after work or whatever,
Yep.
start editing, and having that flow kind of interrupted
Hmm.
really put a crimp in my style. And So yeah, my upload schedule has been extremely affected. And another thing is just lack of stuff to review, and just this whole I don't know. I'm kind of scared, to be honest. I'm scared that at any moment YouTube's gonna say your specific channel is about the thing that's being banned.
Yeah.
So kind of scary.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm just waiting to see if that's, especially with Bloomberg being involved.
Well, at least,
He controls the media. He could easily influence YouTube to be like, yeah, shut these guys down.
but I tell you what. So exactly what I said was gonna happen happened, because it was just like this state, like a governor saying executive order that we were
Yep.
going to have legal, legal contests, and that did happen.
Yeah.
So that's good, right? But I think the damage there has also kind of already been done, because the initial headlines was this is your last day, and so
Yeah.
a lot of consumers who don't get those follow-up news about the being contested, and not just in New York but also in Massachusetts, I think those people they're not going to come back to the shops. They think they're closed.
Yeah. Michigan, same way. I mean,
Yep.
Michigan still, Michigan, they found the one loophole where they're using one shots, or not one shots, but short fills.
Yeah, and I told you guys, I think the last couple of shows, that my local shop has already gotten word from all their manufacturers saying we're ready to go with one shots, or not one shots, short fills.
Short fills, yeah.
So to replace your pre-existing inventory, but their pre-existing inventory is vast at both shops.
Yeah.
And we're talking at the smaller shop, the guy told me they got 30 grand invested in just e-liquid.
Yeah.
And at the bigger shop, it has to be 3 times that, because
Yeah, I've heard quite a few shop owners that have had to pull $60,000-$70,000 worth of e-liquid off their shelves, and they just have it boxed up and sitting in somebody's garage or wherever, and in hopes that they can break it back out, or they can transport it out of state and get rid of it somewhere else.
And that shit has a shelf life. Let's be real, man. Like, you can't sit there for 3 years.
No, it'll be done. It'll be trash.
So,
especially the higher nicotine.
Yeah, pretty scary. You'd be surprised, though. I mean, I bought a bottle of so I like Milkman, original Milkman, and but only the new stuff after Drip Club took it over, right? So one day I was looking around for a deal on it, and I found a 120 ml bottle from some shady site, and I bought it, and it turned out to be 120 mils from the original makers.
Okay, yeah.
And it had to be 4 years old. It was almost black, not quite black.
Oh,
it was absolutely terrible. It was absolutely terrible. So yeah, you gotta be careful.
That's like, I had a bottle of Camelot Taste in New Orleans. I don't know if you ever tried that. It's a bakery. It's like a beignet. And it's good if you get it relatively fresh.
Yeah.
Then I had Vaperz Anonymous, a coil builder, Mitch. He sent me a bottle of it that he had gotten from a website, and he said, he had only had it for a couple of months, and he took like one tank full out of it and didn't care for it. And I saw why. It was like almost black, and it was not. It must have sat around for a couple of years before he bought it.
It sucks that they do that. That's just it. That's that really falls into what I was saying before about this kind of just being a Wild West industry, where a lot of people with very little scruples got in early when there was no regulation and said, let's make as much money as possible very quickly. And I mean, to this day, I have to, every time I buy something online, if I'm not like intimately familiar with the shop, I have to go on to Google, say, is this shop legit?
Yeah.
Because
find reviews.
I've been burnt so many times from these little shady online retailers. So it sucks.
Yeah, it's like, and if you order from China, you're really taking a chance.
Dude, you can't.
There's one site that I found that I was a little nervous because I hadn't used them before. They have a good looking site and nice mobile site and everything else. It's called Sigabai out of China. They have some, fresh, brand new stuff that just came out, but some of the stuff is like 6 to 9 months old. And I bought my profile from there, and it was like $20 or whatever. It was cheap, and it's they don't sell any clones on there. Everything's everything's authentic, and I had no problems. I got it in like typical China, 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and I paid very little for shipping. Maybe like $1 or two for the e-packet, the normal thing, and it works out fine.
How is it that China always uh, gives me really good deals on shipping, but then when I order from the United States,
Yeah,
it's
you
like
get raped. Yeah.
$18. So yeah, God
Yeah,
bless
you can
China for
even
that.
buy like 120 ml bottles and stuff from China, and they'll ship it for like $2. But
Yep.
here it's like 70.
I know, it's crazy.
Like
Um,
dropperbottles.com is like 30 something bucks for shipping.
it's just crazy shipping and come on, you can't tell me that it's more expensive to ship something from across the country than it is from across the fucking world. So
Yeah, it's going on a boat, or on an airplane, or
yeah,
a boat and an airplane.
probably both. Yeah.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
You know what? And this is something. I used to say this all the time when I would do like I used to have a series where I would talk about um good ways to like get budget vaping. Like
Yeah.
if someone's just started and they want to try a bunch of hardware. Um, Originally it was like they subsidized China subsidized shipping. That's cool.
Yeah.
Right on. That probably explains it. It used to be like back in the day, 2014. I would say buy clones. Now I would just always say buy last year's hardware.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there hasn't been like that many leaps in technology in the last 2 years.
No.
That if you buy something from a year ago, 9 months ago, you're good. It's still gonna
Yeah,
be
there's a few,
product.
like a few little niche, single coil RDAs that are $70, $80, and you can find a clone for $12, and the clones 1 to 1. You know, if the guy didn't build it, you wouldn't know the difference, type of thing. Or if we had two of them, they end up having the same serial number on them or something.
That's always a dead giveaway.
Oh yeah.
But one of the things about China is if something's produced in China, right? Like the actual manufacturing is done in China for a piece of hardware.
Yeah.
Like this Mage Mech V2 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
If you go to buy a clone of this, sometimes it's just extra. They just run off 10,000 extra copies of it.
Yep.
And then sell it to wherever, whatever shop, Fast Tech or fucking
or 3F or whatever.
3F, yeah. And so when you're buying a clone, you're really buying an original piece of hardware. It's just they call it a clone.
And it's funny, like with this 22 millimeter goon, I got the clone before the authentic ever came out.
Yeah,
I think the authentic came out like 2 years later or something.
I remember, and Goon was fucking heated about that. They I remember the whatever company, I can't remember what the name of the company is, but they like raised a big stink about that because every time one of their new products was coming out, someone would always beat them to the fucking market with a clone of their new product. So
well, that's just like there's Goon RDTAs.
Yeah,
there was never a Goon
which
RDTA.
Are fucking awesome, actually, though, dude. They're awesome. I actually bought a couple of those from 3F.
Yeah.
Back in the day, just out of curiosity. And what it is, it's like something like a avocado with a goon cap on it, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you see all kinds of ones, and you're like, oh, I don't remember seeing that color come out, because it never did. It's just...
Yeah, it never did. No, I actually use on my avocado. I use an Apocalypse RDA top.
Yeah, 528 customs. Yep.
528 customs. Yeah. Yep. Colorado man and Wayne Watson wins $7 million in popcorn lung lawsuit against a popcorn manufacturer, because that would make sense.
Yeah, I think Orville Redenbacher is the only guy that died from popcorn lung.
That would be fucking ironic. And
that's Giz. Giz put that down one time, and it always stuck in my head. Like, that's funny.
That'd be fucking hilarious. So I want to say hello to some more people. We got Vaping Swaggy Shane in the house. Who else did I see? That white guy. What's up, brother? How you doing, man? How you doing? Yeah, scary times. But we're gonna keep on trucking. I do have a lot of products for review, and that I've been sitting on. And the thing is, like, another part of me is, do I even review this stuff anymore? I don't know. Like, do I review something that people can't get a hold of? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it just
that's the whole
seems
thing.
weird.
Yeah.
It just seems weird. I don't know. The whole thing is getting weird. So no,
Like,
528 Customs did not go out of business. I just saw them post something about a new product coming out. I could swear on Instagram I saw them posting about a new product.
yeah, I heard some weird things about them. That's why there's so many clones out there, is because you know the people that they had manufacturing the goons for them, they were kind of late making some payments, and they were like, "Well, fine,
Oh,
we're just gonna pawn this shit off on out on the streets of Shenzhen and let anybody have it."
I could totally see that happening. I could totally see that happening. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Ginger Baker died.
yeah, 80 years old.
Not exactly a spring chicken, but hey,
No,
you know. And the dude lived a life that most of us, I'm sure, would envy. So
lived the life of a rock star,
he was an ugly motherfucker, man. I saw some pictures
dude.
of him.
Yeah,
He was an ugly little man. So
reminds me of, was it Lyle Lovett? Another one's ugliest sin. Was he married to like was it Roberts? What's her name? Actress. Wasn't she married to her?
Julia
Was he?
Julia
Yeah,
Roberts.
Julia Roberts. Was he
Yeah,
married to her?
yeah. Of course, of course. Lyle, I tell you what, Ginger Baker made Lyle Lovett look like a fucking
Yeah.
Fabio. So, but God bless, yeah, man. Cream, Cream was one of the first album like records I ever had. My dad bought me a turntable, and he bought me Alice Cooper. I can't remember which fucking album it was. It was the one with "School's Out for Summer."
Yeah, I don't know the name of the. I forget the name of the album.
I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember the name of the album. And a Cream album and a Heart album. And I used to listen to those fucking things constantly. And the Heart album was the one with Barracuda on it, which was.
Oh yeah.
I used to fucking jam out when I was like 6 years old to that shit.
Yeah, I remember my sister gave me a 45 to put on my little, Snoopy fucking record player, or whatever the hell I had, and it was Kiss.
Yes.
And the A side was Christine 16, and the B side was Beth.
Nice. That's a good 45.
Oh yeah.
My stepdad, my mom's ex-husband, his brother, they're from Missouri. His brother was fucking obsessed with Kiss. Like, went to every show that was in Reason, had all the gear, the movies, all this weird shit. Like, there's some deep Kiss lore. Like, they had a TV special at one point and shit. Like,
oh yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, Welcome to My Nightmare was the name of the album.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, man, Cream was awesome. Cream was super awesome. Very talented.
Yeah, do you remember when Genesis actually used to dress up in costume like Kiss did?
No.
That was like early days, like beginning like 70s, before Phil Collins was big. And I mean, they didn't have any real big hits or anything. But I remember having this album. I don't remember. I either got it from my older brother or my sister had left it behind or something. And it was, it said Genesis on it. And I was like, and then you look real close and you're like, oh yeah, it is Phil Collins dressed up as like an alien or some shit,
Wow. He kind of looks like a fucking alien anyways.
A little bit, yeah.
That was kind of a thing back then, though, I guess.
Yeah.
So, whatever floats your boat. So I am vaping on a little bit of this DIY that I made for Maria.
Nice.
It's a cereal recipe I got from Frank, and I think it's 3 days I've had it, and not bad.
Yeah.
Not as citrusy as it smells. It smells really citrusy.
Yeah.
And it's really creamy. It's good.
Yeah, I literally had a friend over, and she's like, "Oh, you think you can clone this?" And I'm like, I'll give it a try. And I vaped a little bit of it and didn't really care for it because I knew it was just too lemony for me. And I vaped a little bit of it again, just to remind myself of it. And 5 minutes later, I handed her a 60 ml bottle. I said, "Here you go."
Hell yeah.
And she's like, "Oh my God, this tastes just like it." And I'm like, "Okay, as long as you think so, that's all I care about."
Yeah, I'm not really big on super freaking citrusy cereals because it comes across a little dish soapy for me. But this is tasting really good. So far, so good. I left the fucking lid off all night last night, let it kind of air out a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, shook some oxygen into it a couple times, and I'll just keep doing that for about a month or something. See how it plays out.
Yeah. I mean, it's not one to like I shake and vape almost everything I have. It's rare that I slid
Yeah,
in.
me too.
I mean, I don't care. Like I said last night, I'll even something with 10% B1 in it. I'll still shake and vape it. If I
I'm
make
not.
a big enough batch, I know by the time I get to the bottom of it, it'll be good.
That's kind of how I am with white girls. I'll make like 2,000 mils of it, and I'll just start vaping it. By the time it gets good, I got 1,000 mils left anyway.
Yeah.
So what the fuck's the difference? You know what I mean? But yeah, I kind of have a taste for early V1, especially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You kind of develop a taste for that, I think. That chemicalness of it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. The only thing I can't shake and vape is Flavor Arts Vienna Cream.
What's wrong with it? Just
Nail
nothing there.
polish. It is
Ooh,
acetone to the max.
yeah. Yikes.
Because I had a recipe, someone's like, "Oh, you got to mix this. You got to mix this. You'll really like it." And I mixed it. They said like a 9-day steep time on it, or a week, 9 days, something like that. And I vaped a little bit right away, and I'm just like, "Oh no!" And I put it away, and like I came back to like a couple weeks later. I remembered about it, and it was good then. I'm like, okay, yeah, it really does need the steep.
Some of these, especially cream flavors and custard flavors, I mean, the reality is you got to give them some time to develop. You know?
Yeah, the only ones like say Innoware's custard, 3 days, and it's not going to change after that, and it's good. Custard premium, but you have to get it from the UK. That stuff right off the shake, it's fucking amazing.
So I really gotta start exploring some different flavors. I would love to try an alternative to my recipe with some newer flavors because
Yeah,
I'm
if you
I'm
took out
using
the
a lot of
V1 and you put in like Innoware custard at like I don't know what your percentage is on the white girl, but probably if you cut it in half, because anything more than 2.5-3% on the Innoware custard, it gets dry.
mm,
But you can counteract that and throw like a different cream on top of it or something, or something else for the strawberry, make it a little bit wetter, like some pear or something.
let's see what my percentage is for custard in that recipe. I don't know it off the top of my head. Do, 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 do,
If I had to
do.
guess, you're probably somewhere between 8 and 10.
Not even close, my friend.
No.
No. It's actually pretty conservative.
Oh, okay.
3.5%.
Oh wow. Yeah, you go 2% in Aware custard, and
It would replace that, yeah.
it'll be perfect.
And then I got, but I substitute, but I also have, I got several creams in it.
Okay.
So sweet cream, buttercream, vanilla bean ice cream,
Yeah.
custard, and the custard, like we were talking about last night, really tastes more like a cream or a pudding or something
Yeah,
than
pudding.
a traditional custard. So, yeah, I like that. A couple different strawberries.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely have TFA strawberry ripe in there. I mean, I can taste that right off the bat.
Who doesn't? Come on.
Exactly. It has a distinct flavor.
It does, yeah. That I've really grown accustomed to, and I think that it's my favorite. It's my
I don't
favorite.
know, I've got to the point now. I bet if I look at my stash, I probably have at least 25 different strawberries now. That I very rarely use strawberry ripe unless I'm mixing an older recipe.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of where I'm at. Is it's just an older recipe, and when this recipe was first concocted, a lot of these companies just weren't putting out these flavors.
Like Capella has a strawberry ripe now that is really good. But
So
now
like
then TFA came out with strawberry sweet.
yeah, stepping on some toes.
Yeah, well, I think that's what it is. One's like, oh, you're going to do that to us? Well, fuck you. We're going to do it back. I have a 30 ml bottle. I haven't cracked it open yet. See if it's any good.
I really have been thinking for a long time, not as something that I would give to anybody, but just as something that to try for myself, try some of these alternative flavors. Because you just hear so much good stuff about a lot of these companies.
Oh, yeah. So. I mean, the classics are still, it's what they are. They're classics, and they work.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not afraid to go back and look for and find a recipe from like 2014, 2015. The only thing is, if you're getting in them older recipes like that, you weren't running them the way we run them now. You're not running them, 100 watts and low ohm builds on mechs and stuff like that. So it's going to change the flavor.
So Vaping Swag is right. The only strawberry that I would take over what I use right now that I know
If you
would
replace
be
that ripe with
is
VSO strawberry,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I would do that. I would
because
do that, and
ripe gives me a little bit of a chemical off note that
it
I've
can,
gotten
yeah,
accustomed
sure,
to,
yeah.
but you don't get that from swags.
No, and that was the one that I would definitely replace it with that, and then just that would be the thing. I
Yeah,
wouldn't even fuck with it after that. Um, yeah, it's funny because the original recipe that someone gave me that I developed into White Girl was a 50-50. We're
mm-hmm.
talking old, so it was like a
Oh, yeah.
2013 recipe. 50-50. He had real specific, when he was telling me about it, like you gotta steep it for 6 months and all this shit.
Oh yeah.
And probably you did the way that he had it. But I made so many changes to it. It wasn't even listed in weights or milliliters or any of that shit. It was like
Probably in drops, right?
parts. No, it's in
Oh,
parts, which took me forever because I'm a dummy when it comes to fucking math. So it took me forever to figure out when he's like 2 parts this, 1 part that. It just seemed like Egyptian to me. So,
Yeah.
but I figured it out. But.
Yeah, it's like Giancarlo released a couple of his recipes, and his are set up that way.
Is that right?
Similar to that. It's like it's basically like just the percentages, but not like the percentage for the entire mix. Would be like the percentage is just the flavor content. So it's like 20%. Like a fan of ravioli is like 20% acetylpyrazine.
Mm.
But it's not 20% of the entire mix, but it's 20% of the flavor content.
Of the flavor content.
So you really still don't know.
And I think sometimes these guys they do that because they don't really want to give that recipe out.
I think Fresh and Natty actually have the actual recipe too, for a couple of them, especially, and Fan Ravioli is one of them. I wasn't privy to it. I'm sure if I asked, I could get it, but
it's a special e-liquid for a lot of reasons. Not necessarily for vapability on like a serious level, but because it was the first savory e-liquid that I ever tried that was done seriously, like not as a joke. You know what I mean? Like it was done just, at least in my opinion, it was done in a way that he wanted people to be like, oh hey, that's doable.
It's different than anything else you've ever tried.
It made me, in my review of it made me think like, what if this had been the route we took instead of sweets, fruits? What if we would have said, no, I want to vape a fucking hamburger and spaghetti and shit. So pretty interesting, and definitely glad I got to try that. One of the most interesting vapes I've ever tried.
Yeah, I mean, I still have most of a 60 ml bottle.
I definitely couldn't work my way through a 60. I mean, I'll be honest about that. And actually, the RDA that I tested it in, I ended up having to just toss it because, unless I was just going to keep it just the vape Phantom Ravioli.
Yeah, I did it in a copper goon.
Ah.
Yeah. You can actually ultrasonic that and clean it out pretty good, and it's not there anymore.
I need to, I still don't have a fucking ultrasonic cleaner.
I don't have one that's dedicated for vape gear. It's a jewelry cleaner, but it's the same principle. It was like $20.
Same thing.
Like Kohl's. And
if you're buying one specifically for vape gear, you're kind of just paying a tax because it's
the same thing.
Vaping. Yeah. It's the same exact thing. Yeah, absolutely. But those things are fucking badass, man. First time I ever saw one is that I was in Missouri or Mississippi or some shit, and we had stopped this vape shop, and all of our shit was just disgusting, and needed to be re-wigged and all that shit. And I'm like, hey, can I sit here and clean all my shit out and burn off all my coils and everything? And he's like, nah, make us stink up this whole fucking place. He said, just give it here, I'll fucking clean it. And so he threw everything in the ultrasonic cleaner, and boom, pretty amazing.
Church, I think Fresh and Addy were privy to a couple of them. He didn't released it to the world, but he gave away a couple secrets.
God bless him. God bless him. Has he released his mod yet?
No. There was not to the public. I know there's a prototype that Big Doc got. Okay. And I haven't heard. I think with everything going on in New York, he really hasn't. And plus, he's been real busy with school and all that too. So
yeah, I know I heard a little bit about it at the beginning, and then like some progress, and I just haven't heard about it for a while. So
No, I haven't. He hasn't. I haven't really seen him much around. I mean, he's been, I guess, busy with life.
yeah, hey, I get it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Totally get it. Oh man, I went out last night, so if I'm a little off tonight,
Oh yeah, did you
we
guys
were,
have a good time?
we had such a good time. So we started at this little sports bar that charged us $11 for a Bud Light and a fucking Blue Moon.
Jeez.
And it was like, is there a fight going on? Is there a football game that I'm not aware of? And she's like, no, we don't get the football package anymore. We don't get the fights. I'm like, so what kind of sports bar is? I don't understand. They have like a full like theater seating and shit. Like they have a
Okay, yeah.
whole room with like the theater seats, the big screen, and she's like, well, we used to do that, but just we don't get enough people in here.
Well,
And
when they're charging $11 for 2 beers, I see why they don't get a lot of people in.
that's what we said. We said, the prices are a little bit off-putting. You know, $5 for a fucking Bud Light. That's like if I'm going to a ball game,
Yeah,
like actually going to the ballpark. You know, that just seemed like crazy to me.
that's
So
like
we had,
Vegas. That's like Vegas prices.
yeah. So we had one beer there.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went to the bar. We drank tequila, drank some shots, drank some tequila sunrises. Went to the club, danced, and had some more fucking drinks. Got a free drink though, which is pretty cool because Maria went up to the bar and she's like, "I want something girly," and the lady's like, "Oh, I'll make you something." So she made her something, and I went to pay with my card, and she's like, "Oh, we only take cash," and I'm like, "You got like an ATM or something?" And she's like, "Yeah, over there in the corner." So I walk up to the ATM, pull $20 out. By the time I get back, she's gone, and like the fucking bar is just so crowded. I'm like, "Well, fuck, I'm free drink."
Here you go.
And then a dude ordered. I got two free drinks actually. If I'm going to be honest, another guy fucking ordered a vodka tonic. Like I saw him order it, he got it, and I don't know this guy from Adam, and he's like, oh, I got to take a piss. Hey man, hold my drink. I'm like, okay. He hadn't even fucking touched it.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. And I'm trying to be honest. So
Yeah.
I stood there for a minute, and then I'm like, all right, well, fuck this guy. I'm drinking his drink.
Well, I know he came out with a 30 mil squonker that Big Doc got. I don't know about the 60 mil squonker, but
Yeah, I don't know anything about the 60 mil. I didn't even know it was a 30 mil, to be honest.
yeah, it's massive.
That's pretty cool. I could dig that. I could dig that. So I'm trying this new recipe that I made for Panda on this. What the fuck is this called? The Super Bat, with some nice copyright infringement on the front
Oh yeah.
and some RGB in the back. This thing sucks. I want to like it. It's got a really good hand feel. It's heavy. Dual battery, does a shitload of watts. 220, which is always nice. But it's got like this real strict ohm limit cutoff, which is 0.1.
Oh yeah.
And this thing's, I mean, it's not that old. I remember when 0.1 was kind of like the cutoff
Yeah.
in 2015, 2016.
Like my RX-23 has a 0.1 cutoff. Yeah.
That's such bullshit, man. Even with 3 batteries in it?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was like 250 watts. I think if you took the software, the firmware upgrade on it, it was in 3 battery, it went up to 250. But before it was only 200.
And then 0.1, I just don't understand that 0.1.
Yeah.
But then I have like a 100-watt mod that'll go to like 0.4. 0.04.
0.04. Yeah.
So,
I think this RevTech goes down to like a 0.08 or something, or 0.05.
So the technology's there. It's just, it's hit or miss.
I think the top side even goes down to like a 0.05.
Top side goes down
For a
pretty
single
low.
battery. It's a single battery, single 21,700, 90 watt.
So Rob Scanlon's a little late to the game, picked up an Aegis Legend today. Hey.
Can't go wrong.
And that's what I've always been saying, man. You don't have to be getting the newest and latest and greatest shit. Find something that looks cool to you. And sometimes older is better. Not always. Hey, look, there is a cutoff.
Not even that old. The original one's a year and a half.
Yeah, but in vaping years, that's
Yeah, I
fucking
know.
a lifetime.
But they're still, they're still pumping them out.
Yeah.
Nowadays came out with, and it's not really, it's a new version, but it's not a new version. It's basically the
Hmm.
same thing with a different tank if you buy the kit, and like if the feel of it's a little different, but still is the what they call the IP67 dustproof, waterproof,
Yeah.
shockproof,
Yeah.
bulletproof type of rating on it. But they just released their Squonker, and it's such a disappointment, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had high hopes for that. I mean, it's cool that it's the top fill,
Oh, I saw
but
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
but single 18650,
Yeah.
and that's all it is. And you can take the squonk out, and you can put another piece in, but it's still a single 18650. I mean, had that one, the original, the solo one had, you know, two, was it, took up 26,650, 21,700, 2650, all these different battery sizes. And now you have one that's, only takes an 18650. I'm like, what the hell?
That was
Makes
the
no
problem that I
sense.
had with the original topside. Even though it was not an 18650, just single battery, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I get good battery life out of it though. If that's the only mod I'm using all day, I'll
Yeah,
change batteries once
that's
like
true.
halfway through the day.
That's
I'll
true.
change the battery out.
That's very true. I had no problem. You know, the topside was, I think, better than it had any right to be. It had a really cool gimmick, which at first I kind of thought that was going to be the extent of it, just kind of a gimmicky little thing. But it turned out to be really, really good.
Oh
It was
yeah, I
really
mean
good.
the proprietary bottle with the top fill. You don't really need just. It comes with two bottles. I mean,
Yep.
I've had mine for what would have been at about a year now. I got it like right when it released.
And you
I
use
bought
it.
it from Mike.
You use it pretty daily.
Oh yeah, I beat the hell out of it. I mean, the paint on it's about gone.
I see that. Yeah,
It's
it's
wearing
awesome.
out. The hand, holding it in the hand and everything. It holds up.
Yeah, it definitely holds up. It's
I
killer
mean,
little mod.
it's if I run it higher than like 40 watts though, I'm having trouble. The resistance is getting a little jumpy.
Mm.
But if I keep it low, then it's fine.
Always the problem with regulated mods is that they're every single one of them no matter how well they're built, they got a lifespan on them.
Yeah.
Because just being in the proximity of liquid and having,
Mm-hmm.
because even the best RDA, you're gonna have some kind of leakage. That 510 is gonna leak some kind of liquid down into, the mechanisms of the mod itself.
Yeah.
That's why I always stick with these bad boys. They never do me wrong. Well, they do me wrong quite frequently, but a little less so. I see a cat on the fucking counter in the background.
Yep.
That bitch. Hey, get down. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I got one over here sleeping. I don't know if the kitten's probably with Paige, so I ain't got to worry about her harassing me. And at the end of the show last night, she was down here by my feet biting me, and I'm trying to keep my composure and not kick her. And she's a baby. She's only 2 months old.
I really appreciate you having me on the show last night. It was awesome.
Oh man, it was great.
It was a fun show.
We've got to come back again.
I will definitely do that. Anytime you start off the show talking about the clap,
Yeah,
I'm good. Yeah, I'm in my fucking home turf at that point.
Yeah, we went way off the rails last night.
It was fun.
No, it was though.
It was funny because I can't remember what his name was, but he kept saying, "Are we gonna talk about custard or what?"
Simon, yeah.
I'm like,
by the end, it was just like, yeah, fuck custards.
I think that ship has sailed, my friend.
Actually, I had to mix up his custard slut. I wrote it all down because I don't have an account on that site that he's an ad. Actually, I think I might actually do, but I forget my login. I haven't used it because he doesn't use ELR. Well, he used ELR. He's actually an admin over there, but he has another one that him and his other guy developed.
Oh, okay.
Out of the UK, and it's set up nice. They have like every possible flavor in it, which is like over 10,000.
Wow. Damn.
But I just haven't used it. It's not real popular yet, so it's not a lot of recipes to find on there.
You know what? Ever since last night, I've been really, really fucking obsessing about that fucking 31 flavor recipe.
Oh, I'm not. I don't want nothing to do with that shit.
Oh, man. It makes me so curious because she really stands by it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Smokey don't fuck around. She's all flavor nowadays, but...
Man, it just makes me curious,
maybe
there's something to it. I don't know.
I don't know. That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of fucking work.
And she said it takes her an hour. When she was mixing it for people, it was taking her an hour.
Yikes. And you don't want to mix like 10 mils of it or 100 mils of it. Like
No, I think she was mixing like gallons of it. I think
Yeah,
she was just taking a gallon of EG, taking a little bit out of it, and just and she mixes everything by drops too. So,
well, that'll definitely slow you down. Well, I don't know, depending. If you're making that much, you're just fucking dumping at that point. So,
well, not really, because you figure there's everything was like 0.15 percentage,
Yeah.
0.18 percentage,
You're
0.2.
right.
What was it? 31 flavors had 15% flavoring.
That's true. 16.
Yeah.
Same, but what am I quibbling over a fucking percentage point for?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was pretty amazing. It was pretty amazing, actually. And that's
Yeah,
you know,
Rob, I'm right there with you. I got 700 flavors here. If I were to do a more than a 6 flavor mix, and it's not stuff I use all the time, it's gonna take me half an hour just to find them flavors.
You need to get yourself some nice shelving, dude.
I got all these drawers full of it. You know, it's portable if I ever decide to move it to
There
another
you
part of the house.
There you go. That works.
I don't think the wife
Yeah.
wants me to put up anything permanent when it comes to it.
Yeah, probably. She's like, they're gonna take it away from me anyway, so fucking don't get crazy. Shame. Oh, and then so another thing that I've been vaping on that I've been really excited about is this. I guess I just missed the boat. It's been around for a long time. It's commercial, but it's a creme de la creme strawberry cream. Pretty good. Not bad. Not bad at all. I actually quite enjoy it. So yeah, if anybody's looking for something, bought this super cheap on Element Vape, somewhere like that. Super cheap. Got it for like $10 for 120 mils. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, not bad.
Oh, damn, Rob, you got 1,300 flavors? Shit.
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, I have just what I need to make.
Yeah.
That's just one of those things that I don't know. Maybe it's just because that's just never was my jam. I got into mixing so late, and then by the time I got more interested in it, there's so much variety now. I don't even know where to start. So
Yeah, and that's my problem. I'll get into a funk, and I'm looking, and I'm like, all right, well, there's some of these flavors here. They've been sitting in this drawer for months, and haven't even had the beauty ring cut off them yet. You know, they're still sealed. And it's just like, am I going to use them? What am I going to do? I really want to use them, but I don't know, what to use them with, and or is it something I'm really going to? Do I really want to be bothered mixing this? Am I going to like it? Am I going to vape it? I mean, I got downstairs in my one cupboard, I must have like 20 or 30 bottles of 30 ml bottle testers that some of them are nicked, some of them aren't, some of them are 2 months old, some of them are a year old. That I just dump them, and eventually because I'm like, well, if I haven't vaped it now, I'm not going to. I'm not going to give them to anybody because I don't know if they're any good.
I got a buddy who will vape just about anything, so if I fuck up a recipe or something, I always give it to him, and he seems happy. So
oh, Naki.
He always seems pretty happy about it. So especially if there's like strawberry in it, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. This shit's good.
Yeah.
Fucking God bless. All right, well, I think we've run our hour into the ground. You guys, thank you so much for watching. This fucking audio thing, on top of being extremely hungover, has just totally fucking ruined this for me. But I'm gonna figure this out next week. And until then, have a good week, and we'll see you soon. And peace out.
Bye, everybody.
Now I just gotta stop the show.
All right.
This awkward time where I'm trying to stop the show.